Hey, this is Angel. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the 10 things you have to accept once the relationship with a narcissist is over. Welcome back, or welcome to Narc-repellant. This channel is devoted to seeking understanding and support for those who've suffered from narcissistic abuse and trauma and are interested in recovery. If you are also interested in gaining further perspective on these subjects, you've come to the right place. Please press subscribe, share, like, as you know YouTubers need that support to survive. Thank you so much. Our quote for the day comes from John Lennon. Reality leaves a lot to the imagination. I chose that quote because I had to face a harsh reality when that relationship with the narcissist ended. I'm thinking you may have experienced the same. Maybe you're fighting the need to accept this reality, that your life has been forever changed due to your involvement with this toxic person. I believe once I was able to document all that I had to accept, the negative and the positive, I was much more content with creating the closure I needed to move on. Okay, my new survivor friends, let's jump into today's topic. The 10 things you have to accept once the relationship with a narcissist is over. He never loved me. This was the hardest and most painful thing I had to accept. I was dumbfounded about how much in love I felt I was, and that I felt he was so much in love with me, only to discover that he was incapable of true love. I spent some time at the pity party. I felt so bad, so deceived, like such a chump. I felt ashamed and humiliated, feeling like I'd been taken for a fool. However, what I heard over and over again was, "It's not your fault. It wasn't your fault. He lied and faked you out." So if you're ready to accept this reality, you were most probably a very loving, forgiving person. You trusted the love you thought was coming into your heart like I did. What a wonderful fantasy that was. Honestly, this is what led me to seek trauma counseling. Number 2, he abused me. The truth about what I allowed him to do to me, to my psyche, to my mind and my soul, to my physical health, to my psychological health, well, this reality has also been very difficult to accept. I didn't recall being in a relationship my entire life where someone was so evil, so harsh, ended up having so much disregard for my feelings. He tormented me. He interrogated me. He raged at me for hours. At times I felt as if I'd been kidnapped or that I couldn't get away from the abuse. See the videos on trauma bonding. I believe he wasn't going to stop until I was crippled in all realms. This is abuse. Unfortunately, someone else had to tell me it was abuse, since the treatment from that narcissist was a mirror to what I'd experienced as a small child. It was familiar to me. There was some kind of freaky comfort in that familiar feeling. The thought of that now turns my stomach. Anyway, chances are that if you found this video and others like it, you've experienced something very similar. The truth about accepting the reality that I've been, or you've been, abused is that it gives me a jumping off point for where I need to heal. Obviously, if I accepted this treatment towards me, there must be wounds within me that need love, comfort, understanding, forgiveness, and healing. I can totally accept that fact, get the support I need, and begin to feel stronger. Number 3, I had to accept that he's a narcissist. Yes, I had to learn all about narcissism, first from a therapist and then from hundreds of books and YouTube videos. When she said to me, "Honey, you've got to get away from this person. He's paranoid. He's obviously got narcissistic traits. He's abusing you emotionally and psychologically," well, I dropped to my knees, and then I had to figure out what the hell all that meant. What a roller coaster I was on in that relationship, right? I didn't want the drama. I wanted to pull him into my life, but his pull was much stronger. He sucked me right into his disgusting, pitiful life before I knew what hit me. And then I went on a full-blown research mission about narcissism. If you've been in a relationship with a narc, then you know how awful it was, how confusing, how frightening, how stressful, right? When I accepted that what I was suffering from was his narcissistic abuse, and I was mentally healthy according to a number of mental health people, then somehow I was able to start forgiving myself. It wasn't my fault that I suffered like I did. It wasn't your fault either. My goal would be to never attract another narcissist in my life. The fourth thing I had to accept was that I grew up with a parent who was a narcissist. Damn it, when I realized that the narcissist treatment toward me and the messages that came with that treatment were the same as those from my mother during my childhood, I freaked. I totally buried all that sadness. After all, after the marriage to the father of my children failed, I dealt with codependency issues and some stuff about my mother. But this discovery, well, this was different. Now I had to delve into those mother wounds which, due to being left unhealed, apparently are what had allowed me to attract and to be attractive to a toxic person. Okay, so I had to accept that I grew up with a narcissistic parent. Now I had to study that aspect. It's a good thing that I love to do research. Anyway, I thought I'd had forgiven my mother decades ago, but what I realized was that what I needed was to forgive myself. What a relief that was, actually. It wasn't my fault. As I've heard others say, it was my programming, it was my childhood brainwashing. Accepting all of this has also been a great help to my healing. Try forgiving yourself. Oh my gosh, it's powerful. Number 5, I had to accept I'd been living a lie. Like most of us empathic types, I pride myself on living an honest life. It's so much easier to walk a truthful path, isn't it? I was as authentic as I could have been at the time and in that relationship. Finding out that the entire relationship was a lie was hurtful. I thought I'd found the love of my life. Did you get that message too? Not just the love, but everything was a lie. It's almost as if there was no life during that time. It stood still as I was in this hellhole with a vampire. Okay, I can accept the reality that I lived in a relationship that was a lie. I lost that time. I will never lose that time again. I know that for sure. If you lived a lie like this, it makes you feel so empty. I know that I'm feeling fuller every day that I heal some more, and you will too. Number 6, I was manipulated and controlled. Ouch. I still have a hard time believing that as an intelligent, successful woman, I so easily fell for his tricks. The games narcissists play are devious, destructive, manipulative, controlling, bullying, and immoral, to say the least. I didn't realize how vulnerable I must have been when we met. I didn't know how much his fake love would mean to me. I allowed him to manipulate and control me. I can accept that reality now because I know I will never allow another person to have that much access to destroying my boundaries. If you've been manipulated and or controlled by another individual, it can be pretty bad. You begin to accept what they tell you. You learn to live in their reality. It's terrible. It's all part of the trauma bonding they are specialists with. Number 7, I had to accept the fact that I was addicted to the love fantasy. Yes, I was. He created a beautiful romantic love for us. I played the part he created especially for me, and I played it the best I could. When that play ended, I was a wreck. I had no idea what was happening to me, but I found myself for 2 weeks straight on my bed in a fetal position, just trembling and weeping. I couldn't stop. It was as if I was detoxing. I guess I was. I was so addicted to all that he did during the love bombing stage. I wanted that love all the time. When I decided I had to end the relationship, I had no idea the withdrawals I would go through. Apparently, codependent, empathic types easily fall for these kinds of shenanigans. I understand addiction, not that I have had an addiction to drugs or alcohol, but of course it's in the family. I knew I needed support, friends, counseling, meditation, whatever I could do to get over that addiction. I was willing to do. One thing that helped was going no contact. Keeping no contact was hard, but I kept my trusted friends in the loop so that they would help keep me on track with my healing and recovery from this addiction. When you're suffering from an addiction, you need strong friends to keep you straight. Number 8, I was used to not being heard. What? Yes, sweet little me. I've always attempted in my passive way to express my needs and wants. When no one listens, I don't put up too much of a fuss, just something I've gotten used to over the years. Either in my mind, it's been taken care of, or I forget I've even asked. I realized in my younger years that I wasn't heard until I cried. That doesn't work when you're an old lady like me. I accept that it wasn't my fault that I grew up programmed to be silent and to be used to not getting my needs met. I can't accept this anymore, though. It's time to work on a more lovingly assertive way to express what I want and need so that others will hear me. Number 9, I had to accept that I've experienced a number of losses through that relationship. Not only did I lose myself, which is the biggest thing, I had lots taken from me. Money, gifts, clothes, my time, my goodness, my self-respect. Actually, I hate to even think of this anymore because I've been healing and recovering. I no longer feel that I'm at a loss with that relationship. I found ways to recover or rectify those losses so that they don't hurt or they don't take anything away from me anymore. And it was only money, it was only things. I escaped with my life. And number 10, I had to accept I've experienced trauma my entire life. The reality is that I have. I think I knew that, but it took others to let me know. It ends now. No more accepting any of this bad behavior or treatment from anyone. I'm gaining the skills I need so that I can heal from this trauma and pain, and this will never happen to me again. You will heal too. Just keep learning, just keep understanding, and keep forgiving yourself. Well, that's the end of my list. I'm sure there are many other things I'm not thinking of right now. As you know, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just a mature woman who's had a significant amount of trauma heaped on me from toxic people. I'm understanding, healing, and recovering. If you're going through anything like this right now, please seek help and support. What is the lesson here? You've got to pay attention to your life. You've got to pay attention to whom you choose to share your life with. Set clear and stable boundaries. Accept and forgive yourself. Be kind to yourself. Remember that you are loved. You are a worthy person just because you are you. If your first caregivers did not give you that message, you need to give it to yourself. I'd like to thank you for spending this time with me today. Have a great and beautiful day.